Hello everyone, this is Angad. I'm here to talk about my serious game on the shipbreaking industry. So the problem I'm trying to solve through this game is to see if a game can help in imposing a shipbreaking industry to follow the best practices. So what happens today is, at least in India, the government of India has come up with guidelines that it expects all the shipbreaking industry to use and sort of implement in their day-to-day workings. And another thing is the NGOs that are there in the areas where all these industries have been established are trying to work towards helping creating awareness as in what the industry is doing is not in line with the regulations that are present. But I found two major issues to be there with them. One thing is the reach of these NGOs. Uh, the reach is very limited. There are probably a few hundred people in the country who knows about these existence and the sort of work they do. And the second one is the best practices. The government doesn't have any strict guidelines as to check if the best practices have been actually being implemented or just has been a namesake thing or something like that. In fact, last month, I guess not last month, sometime in August, one of the national newspapers had published an article saying that with just for a bribe of rupees 3 lakhs, one can get any clearances he needs to establish this industry. Now, before I can talk more on this presentation, I would like to say a few things on what the NGOs do. So basically, what they do is they 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 set themselves up around these industries. They find if there are any irregularities happening, and then they send petitions. They gather people who can support them in trying to what do you say trying to impose or force a company to impose certain regulations and things like that. So my game is more towards this. I want to see how the reach of these NGOs can be increased. Yeah, is game a solution? On a personal note, if there is a document that is 50 pages and someone says that you play this game for 20 minutes, you, in a proper competitive environment and whatever the 50-page knowledge this file would give, you would gain the same thing. I would prefer a game any day. In fact, I might not choose to read up. If it was just a PDF file, I might not choose to read it at all. But in a game, at least at some point of time, I would I would give it a shot and see play through it, look at what it has to tell us. I feel it would be a fun way of learning. So yeah, I feel a game in this situation would be very helpful. So this is the system dynamics model. Now, as you can see here, any ship after it's been decommissioned from service, it goes to a marketplace where the various owners of the shipbreaking industries come bid for the ship, and then they bid for the ship, and then they take it back to their own yachts, and then that's where the dismantling of the ship begins. And then finally, they scavenge whatever they can, whatever recyclable material or anything that could be sold or recycled, and they go back to another marketplace and sell them. So I've tried to set up a similar situation here. I'm assuming that this game doesn't deal with the clearances that are needed to establish an industry. I'm assuming that all those things have been done already, and this is just the more on the management of the industry itself. So as you can see, the marketplace is here. Each player, whenever he first logs in, is assigned with certain amount of points that should help him get started, and he is provided with these 5 types of laborers who have basic skill set. So first thing he does is go to a marketplace and buys a boat or a ship with whatever points he has. And now the once the ship has been purchased by him, it goes to this purchase ship state where he can assign these 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 laborers to start working on it. And then finally, it goes the dismantled ship is sold for whatever things it is worth or something like that. But the the learning part of the game would actually come here. Say, for example, I'm looking at this welder who's there. Initially, maybe he's able to cut through basic small bolts and things like that. So the player has an option to increase his skill level. Or maybe, if he has some huge ships and he is working at a lot of height, he would need an harness. So a welder at skill level 1 might not be able to do this. So the player has to improve his skill level. So when he tries to improve the skill level, he'll have to wait for some time, during which time a tutorial might pop up that basically says what are the best practices, or what is the harness quality that the welder needs, and things like that. Or it could be a quiz based on the tutorial that has happened so far on the game. So this way, I feel that the somehow I'm able to get through to the people as in what are the best practices are and what should be happening today. And then all these factors influence the rate of breaking the ship. And the sooner the ship is dismantled, the sooner it goes back to the market, and sooner the player gets back his points. So by maintaining the idea of points or incentives, and there being a global leaderboard, I try to introduce some sort of competitive edge among people who play, so that they keep coming back and try to break more and more ships and earn more points. At the same time, learning on things like what is happening and for where there are chances of improvement and things like that. Yeah. So speaking of the description of the game, like I said, the objective is to learn about the best practices in the shipbreaking industry. But then objective in the game is this: the sooner the ships are broken down and sold back, the more the points they get, and the higher they'll be ranked in the leaderboard. Yeah, so, but in order to do this, they'll have to go through this learning effect. So I'm guessing this way I'm saving the overall objective of the game, yet I'm not directly saying that you'll have to read through so many things, and then only you win the game. So, and the game elements, yeah, like every serious game has to be, this game represents something that is an objective reality and not subjective. That is the case in most of the entertainment games. And the game is highly interactive right from the beginning till the end. Every aspect of the game happens through a user command. And conflicts also have been introduced in every point in the game. Say, for example, there's a boat which a ship which the player wants to purchase, and that ship requires minimum three of each kind of labors. And in case he doesn't have them, he'll have to. It's a conflict for him. So he'll have to come back to his own shipyard and then upgrade the skills of those labors, and then go back to the marketplace, and then only he'll be able to purchase that ship. And of course, this learning effect is also a huge conflict. So these are some of the rules that the player will have to follow. I'm uploading the slides as well, so maybe if you can open through the slides, you'll be able to read all these rules that are there. And finally, verification. For verification, maybe before I can use take the help of classmates or professors to verify the game, test the game, play test it. Before that, maybe I can give a brief write up on why this game has been built, what is the importance of this game, what is the role of the player, what they might get to learn, or what they might not get to learn. And yeah, for validation, I feel one of, maybe I can approach one of those NGOs that are working on the field and ask them to publish this game as well on their website and see how their response is. And then once next time they have a campaign or something where they're expecting people to come turn up and sign in. If the number has been improved significantly, then the whole objective of the game has been achieved, of creating the awareness and increasing the reach of these NGOs. Thank you.